Hey, welcome to another episode of Random Things with BK. Today we're going to be swapping out the stock Rubicon steel bumper for the new DV8 steel bumper and installing a Badlands 12,000 pound Apex winch. Start out by removing this filler plate that's right behind the bumper. To do that, you have to pop out these plastic tabs, and I have a little tool that makes that a little bit easier. So first you pop out that part, and then you can see that it'll come off. Again, we'll do it over on this side. There's just two of them. We won't lose that one. Nope, we lost it too. And it just slides out of here. And we'll set it to the side and collect it. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to disconnect the fog lights from the frame. So it has a little connector here, and it should be easy to get out. But okay, so to release this clip, you can take your screwdriver and just work it in here like so, and then it'll just release and come off. There we go. Okay, so now that we have the fog lights and all that disconnected, the next thing that we need to do is we need to disconnect the skid plate from the bumper. So that'll make it easier when we go to pull the bumper off. So that'll be the next thing. Underneath here is several bolts that go along through there that we'll have to take out, and then there's also two in the back. Was a 13mm socket to take those off of the Rubicon. All right. Next, if you look up here, you can see there's 4 bolts on each side that hold the bumper on, and those are 18mm, and you're going to need a deep well socket to get them off. If you'll look right down in here, you can see the 4 nuts that need to be removed, and there's 2 on each side of the frame rail that will help us take the bumper off. For the one you can't get, just slide this on there.
Gotcha.
It'll give you a lot more space. So if your bumper bolts are too tight, then a good idea is to have a piece of pipe that you can use as a breaker bar, and that'll give you the amount of torque that you need to get them loose. Because these bolts should be actually pretty tight.
Yeah.
All right, so now that we have the JL bumper off, we're going to remove the factory fog lights because we're going to install them into the DV8 bumper. So to do that, we've got a bunch of plastic tabs that handle the routing for the wire. We'll go ahead and disconnect both lights, and then we'll extract the wiring harness and the lights themselves. If you can see, the lights have 2 bolts each that hold them in with these brackets, and we'll be replacing, or will actually we have metal brackets to adapt them to the new bumper, and I'll show you that in a few minutes. Work it underneath these so we can pull them out without breaking them, and we'll just do that all the way through. Nice and easy. These tools, you can get these at Northern Tool or Harbor Freight. They're super handy, well worth the $15 that it costs for one. To not break off all of your plastic pieces and have to replace them. So, as you can see, I'm making quick work of this with one. There we go. Voila! Now we have sufficiently stripped down the JL bumper, so we'll move that off to the side and we'll get started with setting up the DV8 bumper and getting it ready to put on. All right, so next, in order to be able to route our wiring, we're going to pull out the air box on the Jeep. Bracket got bent up a little bit, so we just took a what do they call this, adjustable wrench, adjust it down to your thickness of your metal, and then you can use it as a tool to kind of just persuade everything back to where you want it. And as you can see, we're pretty flat now, so we should be good. Easy peasy little trick I learned from a body guy now. So there we go. All right, so next thing we're going to do is we're going to attach the winch plate to the new bumper, because the bolts to get to it will be easier to get to before we put the lights on. So we're going to get that done, and then we'll install the lights after that. I've got to locate the bolts for the winch plate, so we're going to do that right now. which plate is attached. Oh, we have one small problem. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we started out putting the fog lights on, and the directions and the hardware, nothing matched up to be able to mount the factory JL fog light in this bumper, which was a little disappointing because I purchased this bumper to be able to mount my factory fog lights. That being said, we figured out how to make it happen. So the first thing we did was we grabbed some hardware that would work to mount their JL light adapter. And so we're going to do that now. It mounts through these slotted holes here, and we're just using a screw with a lock washer and a nut to attach that. Okay, so now we'll just tighten up this bolt and we'll be all good to go. Oh, there we go. Okay. All right, lights installed. Yay. Okay, so because I'm putting this bumper on a JL, it has an adapter for to make it match the frame, and your wide part of your adapter is what's going to bolt to the frame, and the small part is what bolts inside your bumper here. So you're going to set that on inside there, and then you're going to add 2 washers and a nut for all 4 of these bolts. Alright, so now we're going to prepare the bumper to mount it to the actual Jeep. So with the way this bracket works, we're going to have to put the bolts with the washer through this hole, and then I'm going to try to duct tape the bolt in there so that it'll stay on while we get the nuts started on the back. So there's the first one, and you can see it's kind of holding there. We'll do that for basically all these holes. So to do that, I'm just ripping off like a half piece of duct tape here, and about that size. And I'm putting the bolt in the hole, and I'm taking the duct tape and working it in there. Okay, we got that side all done, so we're just going to do the other side, and then we're going to go and try to mount the bumper to the Jeep. All right, so as you can see, we've installed the DV8 bumper and shackles and the Badlands 12,000 pound winch with the fair lead and the synthetic rope. The install was a bit tricky because of the way that the brackets mounted to the frame, but we were able to figure it all out. So one of the things we did was we took a wrench and we cut it short so that we could get into these side pockets and hold the nuts from the back side. But it's all attached and solid, and the winch works great. So thanks a lot for tuning in to Random Things with BK. Please like and subscribe, and more videos will be coming soon. Thank you.